Millions of Americans who lost part or all of their income due to the coronavirus pandemic are facing eviction as the deadly virus continues to spread across the U.S.
It's been pure hell, to be honest.
A recent casualty is Ashley Johnson.
I'm currently working at my desk job, but my other two businesses, I do holistic health and wellness coaching. And because of COVID, I don't have these clients no more. And so I only have my desk job to rely on.
Johnson was evicted in early September from a private transitional house in Kansas City, Missouri, where she lived with her 3 children.
Mentally, I'm an emotional wreck. I just recently had to reach out to getting some counseling because I can kind of feel myself slipping a little.
This pandemic and the shutdown has been no picnic for me and my children.
Johnson participates in rallies for KC Tenants, a group advocating for affordable housing in Kansas City, Missouri. Like in other states, Missouri already had an affordable housing crisis when the pandemic hit. And now almost half the renters in the state are at risk of eviction because they can't pay their rent, according to KC Tenants. Many Americans had been receiving financial assistance through state and federal unemployment benefits. But the supplemental federal assistance of $600 a week lapsed in July, putting millions at risk of eviction.
I'm signing an executive order directing the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HHS, and CDC to make sure renters and homeowners can stay in their homes.
In a press conference on August 8th, the president announced an executive order to provide assistance to renters and homeowners and protect Americans against eviction. Prompted by the announcement, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently issued an order to temporarily halt residential evictions to prevent the further spread of COVID-19. But the order comes with conditions.
People may be protected for some short period of time from eviction, but they still owe rent every month, and the landlord can still charge late fees, fines, and collect interest on that rent. So the mountain of debt just continues to grow.
No peace! Tenants and housing advocates are calling for additional measures like rent and mortgage cancellation. Attorney Gina Kiala says lawmakers must be part of the solution.
The mass layoffs that are happening in this country are not the fault of those workers who are losing their jobs, and we cannot let our fellow Americans go down in flames. We need to act. We need to push Congress to do the right thing and pass a robust act and keep in place those measures that we know were stopping the eviction avalanche before.
Kiala is encouraging landlords to negotiate with their tenants when possible. But with approximately 50% of the nation's rental units owned by mom-and-pop landlords, many cannot absorb the losses from unpaid rent.
We're hearing from our landlords, they're calling and emailing. They're worried about losing not only their own homes, but their rental homes as well. And they're also worried about not ever being paid back after this is over.
North Carolina landlord Kathy Phillips relies on her 10 rental properties for income. One of her tenants has been falling behind on her rent.
I have one tenant who's a single parent, who's unemployed and unable to pay her rent. I don't feel comfortable evicting her. I've offered her 50% off her rent for 3 months with no expectation to pay it back.
Ashley Johnson says she could use some of that compassion.
The biggest challenge for me is just pretending to be happy, because I have to be strong for my kids,
Julie Tabo, VOA News, Washington.